Hi, my name is Amanda, and I thought about whether or not my machine, my Cricut machine, would do scratch art using the scoring stylus a few weeks ago. So I got the tool, and I decided to give it a try, and sure enough, it worked. So what I have here is some poster board that I've cut to the size that I want, and you color on it pretty heavily with coloring crayon, and then you use some acrylic paint. This is just the cheap stuff from Walmart. You use it pretty generously. You coat a pretty thick layer of paint on your canvas, and needs to be set, I find, a little bit lower, because you want the stylus to kind of cut in, not really cut in, but you want it to think that it needs to go deeper than the material it's working on, so it will scratch away the paint. So I have poster board, and my dial is set to between the bonded fabric and cardstock. I wanted to test out this sugar skull that I've been working on. I've been making it from scratch in Inkscape, and I decided I'd test cut it to see if I should stop and choose some different images than that zinnia. And while I'm at it, I'm going to see if I can make some scratch art with it. So I'm going to set it to score instead of cut, and then we will, it changes to lines, but the scoring stylus will maintain contact with the material the entire time. It's not dotted lines like that. And I'm just going to center this a little bit. I have like a 10 by 10 piece of poster board. And my mat is already loaded, so we'll just let it go and see what happens. So I did this the other night, and for those spots that don't get scratched all the way, you can hit the button and tell it to go again. Or what I did, because there were some spots that are just kind of stubborn and didn't want to scratch away by itself, so I just took my scoring tool out and I scratched those spots away by hand. And I did a Carl Sagan clip art that I found on Google, and I ended up scoring some extra lines into his hair to make it like he actually had hair instead of what the normal silhouettes of people's faces and stuff look like. So anyway, yeah, it looks like it's working pretty well. We'll let it finish if my phone will continue to video, and if not, it's pretty simple. You just color on some thick paper, cardstock poster board. With the sketch pad paper, after painting on it, even though it was dried, the paper was kind of fragile, and even though I feel like my mat isn't very sticky, stick some paper on it and you'll find out how sticky your mat really is. It didn't want to come away from the mat very easily. It was really fragile, so I'm going to stick with poster board for these types of projects, I think. And we'll probably call that finished, because it looks like we'll be here for a while. So that's it. You can see if you color randomly, then, you know, like this, then you get this rainbowy look when it scratches the paint away. And you want to be careful as you experiment. When I figured out this setting, I started at poster board, because it is poster board. But like I said, you want to tell the stylus to go a little bit deeper than what your material is, so that it will scratch away the surface, I guess. I'm not really good at these custom settings, but I found that when I bumped my dial down, that it scratched it away better and better. I'm afraid to go too low, because I really don't want it to actually start digging into my poster board, because that kind of defeats the purpose of erasing away the black and showing off color. So I think that, I don't know, zinnia might be too much for this kind of project, but it's coming out, it's working, and I'm going to end the video. So that's it. Just color on